Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, my name is Sierra and I garden in Ohio Zone 6A. I love cutting grass. I don't know what it is, but I love cutting my grass. Now I only cut the back of my yard. My husband cuts the other areas like in the front and on the side of the house, but ever since I was a kid, I used to borrow my friend's lawnmower, and her and I would go around the neighborhood knocking on doors, asking neighbors if we could cut their grass for $10. I love doing that, and I love keeping my grass cut. So a couple years ago, we stopped treating our grass like with weed and feed and weed killer and all that. So we allow weeds to grow there, and we just mow them down, and we use the weed whacker to cut them down. But it's not pretty all the time, but I prefer this method, especially when growing food. I don't want any chemical leakage on my end in my garden. I just love the way my garden looks after a fresh haircut and edge up. That's what I call it when I do it. So one thing that I have been doing recently is dumping the empty peat pellets into my containers that I plan to fill with soil. This is a great way to compost those. I had a lot of plants that either dampened off or just, got killed from being outside. So I take those peat pellets and just put them in any container that I plan to fill up, and this is just a great way to use them. Now I do have a compost bin, but this is just quicker to get to. So the next thing that I'm going to do is fill up both of these gray pots with potting soil and compost. And I come prepared because I get asked how large my containers are, and I'll put that on the screen for you guys. But I came out with my measuring tape. I'm ready to go. We're measuring the pots and we're measuring the Canna Tubers. Now, if you watched a couple videos back, you know that I lost all of my Canna Tubers, the Canna musifolia Canna Tubers. I lost them all this winter. So I ended up ordering some from Etsy online, and they look amazing. So I'm gonna use those to regrow my stock. So I'm gonna be planting them straight into these containers. Usually I plant my cannas, I pot them up early, like late February, Marchish, and start them indoors so that they're huge by the time I put them outside. But since I lost all my cannas, like everything this year with my cannas has just been off. So this year I'm starting fresh with fresh new bulbs. Now these tubers look absolutely amazing. She gave me such a good selection of tubers. I think the listing was only for like 2 or 3 large tubers, and she gave me so much more, and I'm so appreciative of that, especially since I had no tubers to start with. So I'm so happy. They look amazing, they look healthy, and definitely are ready to plant. You can see the red tips. That's what you want to look for on your live bulbs. They don't have to be huge, but they have to be there. If you saw the other video, you saw how the tubers were black, mushy, and just gross. So these are definitely healthy tubers. They're great size. I'm thinking about ordering another batch from her. I'm waiting till YouTube pays me again, and then I'll place another order with her. But yeah, these are good looking bulbs, tubers, rhizomes, good looking rhizomes. So I'm gonna divide these tubers between the two pots. I will not be planting anything else with these cannas. I want this to just serve as their regrowth. I'm just trying to grow my stock back. They will not be as full as my cannas usually are, and that's because I have so few of tubers. But you guys will see at the end of the season that these guys will reproduce so well that the next season I'll probably have double the tubers. So that's the one thing I love about cannas, is that they're so good at making new rhizomes. And I actually got the idea several years ago from a nursery here in Ohio, Baker's Acres, to plant canna only containers and to fill those containers with tubers. Now, if I had more tubers, I would definitely put more in each pot. But when I went to this nursery several years ago, they had ginormous canna plants just all in one. They had several containers lined up like an alleyway of cannas, and it was just cannas in the pots. And they told me like that's how they grow their canna stock for the season, for the next season, because then you harvest and then you keep them for the following season to grow out. And so after that, that's what I started to do. I don't know if you guys have had deer visiting your gardens yet, or if you even have deer in your area that have access to your garden, but the deer have hit my garden at least twice because so many things have gotten chewed up. And yesterday when I was out working, I noticed a lot more damage on my plants. So I like to fight deer with a two-step combination. The only annoying thing is that, buying these products, it gets expensive. So if anyone has a homemade deer repellent recipe, please leave it in the comments section. I would love to try out one myself, and I would love one that's proven by someone who's made it and tried it before. But until then, the products that I buy are Repels All, and my two-step combo is a granular product that you spread along the soil, and then I come back and I hit them with the spray. I hit the plants and the leaves with the spray. Then the granular, if you can get it down to the soil level. This combination works really well for me. I also have an area of my garden where I believe the deer walk up, that I actually have some poles with I want to say filament, but it's basically fishing line that I tied in 2 rows, so that once they hit that and they feel that tension against their body, they will back up. Like they'll think that there's something there and it'll scare them. I felt like that worked for a while, but there's other points of entry to my garden. So, they could be going around that space or have learned to go around that space to get in. So this two-step combo is what I've been using for the past 2 years, and I feel like it works the best in my garden. Now, the granules, I believe if you get a rain, they will hang out, like you won't have to reapply right away. But the spray, I believe if you get a rain after you spray, you will want to go through and reapply. And I like to spray and use the granules in my entire garden because they eat in the front yard too. And so I use quite a bit of spray. Like I can use probably almost a whole bottle of spray, just trying to treat the entire garden. But if you want to keep your blooms and you want to keep your plants looking nice, it is necessary. But I'm looking into making my own deer spray if possible, if I can find a great recipe. So after you use this combo, or you just use one or the other, you will notice that this stuff, it's stanky, okay? Your entire garden will smell horrible at least for a whole 24 hours, at least. But it's really bad. Like I had to go in the house to get relief after spraying this. So I tend to spray every plant in my garden, but deer do seem to have favorites. So they love the hostas, they love the hydrangeas, and when they're hungry, they'll eat just about anything. So I like to give everything a light misting just in case they are, you know, thinking about nibbling on something else. I just want my entire garden to stink to them. So I tend to spray a little bit on everything. And then my plants that I know they absolutely love, I like to spray those a little bit more. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.